Let's talk about something we all use every single time we get behind the wheel, but maybe don't give a second thought to. Our car's brakes. Really understanding how they work isn't just for mechanics. It's actually a huge part of being a safer, more confident driver out there on the road. So let's just jump right in with a quick question. Imagine you're driving, maybe going 30 miles an hour. If you double your speed to 60, does that mean you just need twice as much room to stop? I mean, it sounds right, doesn't it? It feels like it should be simple math. Well, here's where it gets interesting. The actual physics of stopping a car can be, well, pretty surprising. And the real answer is not even close to just doubling the distance. And here it is. This is the science of it. Because of something called kinetic energy, when you double your speed, you actually need 4 times the distance to come to a full stop. Seriously, not double, quadruple. This little fact right here is exactly why leaving a big gap in front of you isn't just polite, it's absolutely critical. You see, every single time you hit the brakes, it's not just one thing happening. It's really a two-part story. So let's break down the actual physics of what it takes to stop. So part one is your thinking distance. That's the distance your car travels and the time it takes for your brain to spot a hazard, process it, and send a signal to your foot to hit the brakes. Then you've got the braking distance. That's how far the car physically moves once your foot is on the pedal and the brakes are doing their job. Your total stopping distance is always those two things added together. And you've always got a few things working against you. Obviously, speed is the big one, we just saw that. But think about it. A heavier car, maybe loaded up with family and luggage for a trip, is going to need more room. And of course, a wet or icy road means less traction, which makes your brakes job way, way harder. That empty space in front of your car, that's your safety buffer. It's your best friend. Okay, so knowing the science is one thing, but how do we actually put it into practice? Let's talk about some really simple habits for braking like a pro. These are things that will not only keep you safer, but they'll also help your brakes last a lot longer. Honestly, these little techniques are game changers. Looking ahead and anticipating what traffic is doing lets you brake early and smoothly, which leaves a ton of wear and tear. Using engine braking, that just means downshifting and letting the engine itself slow the car down, is amazing for long hills. It saves your brakes from getting overheated. And this is a big one. Always try to do your braking in a straight line before you enter a turn. That keeps the car stable and gives you maximum grip when you need it most. And hey, here's a fantastic little pro tip for you. You know that little jerk you feel right at the end of a stop? To get rid of that, just as the car is about to come to a complete halt, ease your foot off the brake pedal just a tiny bit. It makes for a perfectly smooth stop and your passengers will thank you for it. All right, let's geek out for a minute and look at the amazing bit of technology under your foot that actually makes all of this happen. So most cars you see today use a mix of two main types of brakes. Up front, you've almost always got disc brakes. They're incredible at getting rid of heat, which gives you really consistent, strong stopping power. Then, in the back, you might have drum brakes. They're a bit more cost-effective, and they work perfectly fine back there, especially for the parking brake. But, the single biggest safety innovation in braking, maybe ever, has got to be the anti-lock braking system, or ABS. And understanding what it does is so important for using it right when it comes. Okay, so here's what happens in an emergency. If you slam on the brakes and the system senses a wheel is about to lock up and cause a skid, it automatically starts pulsing the brake pressure super fast. We're talking many times a second. You'll feel this in the pedal. It'll vibrate or pulse. That is your sign to keep your foot down. Do not let up. That feeling means the system is doing its job, preventing a skid, and this is the most important part, letting you steer the car around whatever's in front of you. But what about when things go wrong? It's really important to know how to read the signs your car is giving you and what to do in a true emergency. Your brake pedal can actually tell you a lot about its own health. For instance, if the pedal ever feels soft and spongy when you press it, that's a classic sign that air has gotten into the hydraulic lines, which you need to get checked out right away. If the pedal feels super hard, like you're pushing against a brick, that could mean your power brake booster has failed. And if you feel a pulsing or vibration during normal braking, that's almost always a sign that your brake rotors are warped. Now, the thing that makes all of this work is the brake fluid. It's the lifeblood of the system. It's what takes the force from your foot and transfers it to the wheels. But here's the thing about brake fluid. Over time, it naturally absorbs moisture from the air. And that moisture is bad news because it lowers the fluid's boiling point, which can lead to brake failure under heavy use. So this is it, the scenario nobody ever wants to even think about. But just having a plan in your head, knowing the steps, is what can make all the difference if the absolute worst ever happens. Okay, let's walk through this nice and calm. First thing, don't panic. Get your hazard lights on to warn everyone around you. Immediately start downshifting to lower gears. Let the engine do the work of slowing you down. While you're doing that, pump the brake pedal hard and fast. You might be able to build up enough pressure to get some braking power back. If that's not working, slowly and smoothly pull up on your parking brake. Do not just yank it. All the while, you're steering toward a safe place to stop, an empty shoulder, maybe an uphill ramp. And only as an absolute final resort, you can use friction, like scraping against a guardrail, to slow yourself down. All right, let's end on a positive note. Let's talk about the simple, proactive things you can do to take care of this incredibly important system, save yourself some money, and make sure your brakes are always 100% ready to go. It really just comes down to a few basic things. Get your brakes inspected regularly. Don't wait for a problem to show up. Plan on changing your brake fluid every 2 or 3 years to get that old, waterlogged fluid out of there. When you do need repairs, use good quality parts. And finally, just listen to your car. Squealing, grinding, weird vibrations, that's your car trying to tell you something's wrong. And what's really cool is that smart driving habits and smart maintenance go hand in hand. When you're a smoother driver who looks ahead, you're not just saving your brakes, you're becoming a better, safer driver in general. It really is a total win-win. So we've gone through a lot here, from the basic physics to emergency procedures. So I'll just leave you with this one thought to chew on. Now that you know how vital your brakes are, what's one small change in your driving habits, in your maintenance schedule? What's one small thing you can commit to doing, starting today, to make yourself safer out on the road?
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.